Well, thank you so much, Wildcat O'Halloran and the rest of your band for coming on for Valley Advocate Sessions. Awesome set.
Oh, thank you so much. It was awesome being here. Thank you for inviting us.
First off, could you introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. I am William Thomas Joseph Wildcat O'Halloran Jr. When you're Irish, they give you extra names in case the first saint is sleeping. On bass tonight, we had Phil Govan, the international Monaco race car driver and international home wrecker. On drums, we had Mark Schuenard, who in his spare time makes elaborate fountain pens because the buggy whip thing wasn't working out, so he's modernized to fountain pens on drums. And long time ago, we came out of rehearsal and there was a little basket on the doorstep with a little baby in it, a little blanket, a little bottle, a little saxophone, and a note pinned to it that said, "Please take care of our darling Emily," and that's how Emily Duff got in the band. Actually, though, we don't know what was in the bottle. She was 21, really, when we found her in the basket. May have been Jameson in the bottle. But Emily Duff on saxophone, all the way from China, from the People's Republic today.
Could you tell me a little bit about how long you've been performing?
People don't live to be as long as I've been performing. I've been performing for 45 years, mostly here in the Valley. I mean, we tour a little bit. We're going out to the Midwest this summer. We usually hit New York or Pennsylvania a couple times a year. A few years ago, we went up to Canada, but that probably won't be happening again. They won't let that. They want Americans to stop fleeing to Canada, so they probably won't let us in. But Em, how long have you been playing with me? About 7 years off and on?
Yeah, probably.
When she's not on the cruise ship or teaching the children with the designer imitator instruments. That's what she's doing now.
And obviously blues music, but also Jimi Hendrix are some of your influences. Can you tell me about like how you first got into music?
I think it's a common story for guys of my generation that they heard the Beatles and they loved the Beatles, and they heard Eric Clapton and they loved Eric Clapton, and then they noticed that all the songs they really liked were the blues ones, and so I went in that direction. But when I got married, I went up to Montreal and I asked people in Montreal, where can I see some blues? And they said, "Oh, you should have been here last week. We had the Montreal Jazz Festival." And I'm like, that's not the same thing. I said, "Oh yeah, no, you should have seen it. James Brown was the headliner." And I'm going, it's all the same to you. But I'm thinking they were right, really, that impulse, that rhythm and blues impulse, why do you have to, like the blues people want to put it in a little box with Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf and nobody else is allowed in there? And we kind of send that up a little in our act. The two places in America where blues sales are on the increase are Florida, because the boomers retire there and bring their love of blues, and Seattle because of the Hendrix Museum. I think Robert Cray is a Seattle area guy. But you can't leave Jimmy out. Jimmy's stated goal in life was to restore the primacy of the blues guitar in a world of overproduced crap. And couldn't we use a guy like that right now? I'm just saying.
I'm down with that.
Overproduced crap? Oh, heck, we don't have any of that.
So do you mentioned when we were talking earlier that you're planning to record a new record. Could you tell us a bit about that? Sure.
We've been coasting on the sales and radio play of Hot Pull Down, which is still available from CD Baby, currently number 45 on the Big Blues chart, the Roots Music Radio. But we are just starting while Em's home to record a new one, and the new one will mostly be people that play with me all the time rather than a lot of all-star guests like the last few CDs, so that when we go out we can play the whole thing if we want to. There'll be mostly original songs of mine, and I don't usually write serious things. Usually I write stuff, like the new one has a song, The Problem with Dumb People Is They Think They're Smart. There's one called This Getting Old Stuff Ain't for the Faint of Heart. It's usually there's one-liners, but we'll have a cover of Louis Jordan's Saturday Night Fish Fry. That's why Em's trying to learn to say, "Can I get one of them fish sandwiches?" She hasn't agreed to do that yet. What else is on there for a cover? We're going to do a version of I Love You More Than You Ever Know. We'll probably have a horn section on that, but mostly it'll be Em.
So, do you guys have any shows coming up in March?
Oh, thank you for asking. March 2nd, we're at the Fort Hill Brewery in East Hampton. March 3rd, we're someplace in Eastern Mass, private party. And then the 23rd, I think we're at the AC Club in Shutesbury. And last night we were in Gardner. If I seem a little hoarse, it's one of those, we mic everything, but then we tell you to be quiet, and it's RPA, and no, you can't have more monitors. The sound was really good last night, actually. I probably got too excited and screamed my lungs out.
Well, I think that's a good place to end the interview, but thanks so much.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate your performance.
Hey, we appreciate being invited. Thank you.